This podcast is rated S for spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Don't forget to view our spoiler-free companion video on our Half Past Podcast channel on YouTube. Welcome to the Half Past Podcast. This is episode 32, the movie review of The Brothers Grimsby. We will also be discussing the Hardcore Henry trailer. I'm Graham Ricks, and here with me is my friend and co-pilot, Ian Jones.
Don't you just love Sacha Baron Cohen?
I freaking hate Sacha Baron Cohen.
Ooh, all right.
He's absolutely terrible.
Oh.
And I'm on record knowing how much I hate that guy. I don't like anything he does, and it really ticks me off that I had to go watch this movie because of you wanting to see it.
Well, I didn't want to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Which is actually a far better movie. So.
Okay. So Graham says see it on 10 Cloverfield.
Well, rent it, but still.
Oh, okay. It's rentable. Okay.
Alright, before we get deep into this Brothers Grimsby terrible movie, let's go ahead and get into
Alright.
Hardcore Henry trailer. Now, this trailer I saw a long time ago, or at least the first one, like last year sometime, and I thought it was just like a super fun looking movie. It was going to be all in first person, and it looked like it's full of action and ready to just punch you in the face, and I kind of like that. And only thing I'm concerned about with this movie is how annoying will this get? Will it get really tiring to watch with this first person perspective the entire time? I don't know. We've never had a whole movie of it before, so I'm like really curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it. I think the first time we saw it was in Doom, right? Or
yeah,
that I recall, and they saved it for the very end.
Yeah, they did.
And I can remember having this very discussion when that movie came out because they showed that in the trailer.
Yeah,
but I really liked how they revealed it towards the end of the movie, and we've mentioned that in a previous podcast. There was some of that in this movie at the beginning.
Yes, there was,
which I thought was fantastic. So, but we'll save that for when we get into Brothers Grimsby. But yeah. I'm so excited by how this looks that, I think it's kind of a once in a, it either works. I feel like it's either going to work spectacularly or no one's ever going to do a movie quite like this again.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And the way I look at it is I feel like it's going to be similar to Cloverfield, where the real super shaky camera thing, like it's either going to really piss people off or they're just going to be okay with it. There's so many people that just couldn't deal with that shaky cam through the whole thing. They were just like annoyed by it the whole time. So we'll have to see what happens with Hardcore Henry.
And people don't really move like that anyway, even in video games. I have a feeling that because they're showing all action scenes, and it is called Hardcore Henry, that's where it starts picking up. But you do make a good point about the camera. It reminds me when Josh Trank did Chronicle.
Yes.
That was a found footage movie.
Yeah.
But they found a really cool way to get that typical perspective to where everything wasn't to where the main character wasn't just filming everything.
Yeah.
He was using telekinesis to lift the camera and film himself.
Yeah.
And that's when the movie changed. It went into third person mode. And I thought that was a brilliant little way to get some more dynamic shots. So I'm kind of hoping maybe there is something like that. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, you done with this one?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the Brothers Grimsby movie after we take a quick little break here. assignment forces a top spy to team up with his football hooligan brother. Yeah, that's it. That's the entire synopsis of the movie.
I think that's probably all they wrote in the script too, and then tried to figure it out.
And it shows. It really does show. So he's directed by, I'm gonna say, Louis Leterrier. Is that how you say that?
I thought it was just Louis Letterer.
Oh, jeez. Well, he's actually French, so that's gonna be my assumption. Louis Leterrier. And he's done Transporter, Unleashed, and The Incredible Hulk, which are all far better movies.
Yeah, you look at his like at his resume and his filmography, and then you look at how this movie was.
Yes.
And you just wonder, like, what the hell was, like, did he stop after that initial scene? Like, did he film the stuff that introduces Mark Strong and then just, like, get violently ill from eating seafood?
That's kind of the thing I got from this. I'm like, what is going on with this? Like, he's a better director than this. He's done better movies.
Oh, yeah.
And this movie is so awful. All right, so starring Sacha Baron Cohen as Nabi. He's Ali G, Borat, and Bruno. And I absolutely can't stand him in anything he's in.
All right, on the level of Josh Gad, though, where does Sacha Baron Cohen?
After this movie,
nice. Did he just leap over Josh Gad somehow?
He has leapt over Josh Gad. I would rather watch anything with Josh Gad than anything with Sacha Baron Cohen ever again. And that's how I feel about this movie.
Oh, we're going to get into why. So, unless you really want to see some disgusting stuff, which we'll talk about in depth, I'm sure.
Mark Strong is Sebastian, who is in Syriana, Sherlock Holmes, and, of course, that John Carter movie. And what is Mark Strong doing, man? Like,
I don't know. In this movie? I don't know what the hell he
in this movie.
No.
He's better than this, man. Like,
I'm just gonna say, you know what? I think we can save some time here on the cast. I don't normally interrupt you when you're doing your thing, but because of the way this movie is done, you can say that about everyone. Rebel Wilson's in it. Penelope Cruz, Ela Fisher.
No. Just stop there. Doesn't even matter anymore. Right. Doesn't even matter anymore. You're getting the 4 stars. Sacha Baron Cohen, Mark Strong, Rebel Wilson, and Penelope Cruz, who's in it for a scene that I know of.
Okay.
And that's it. And that's it.
So you didn't make it.
No, I didn't even. Right. Okay, I've never walked out of a movie before in my life, and I've seen a ton of bad movies. I have never walked out of a movie in my life until this movie. This movie is so awful. I cannot believe this movie was made. How much money did they spend on making this movie? They could just give us that money. We could have easily have made a better movie. I cannot believe it. I absolutely cannot believe it. It's terrible. It's the worst freaking movie that I can possibly watch. It's the worst movie ever. It is the worst movie ever made. No, it's not. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. No, I would watch Fantastic Four over and over again before I watched this movie. I made it through Fantastic Four. I had to walk out of this movie. This movie was so awful. Now, let me finish. This movie was so awful that when I got there was barely anybody in the theater to begin with, right? And somehow I had to, there was a rush to the door to get out of the theater. I had to like bump into somebody to try to, when I was trying to leave the theater, I bumped into somebody. That's how bad it was. We're all trying to get the hell out of there. That's how bad this movie is.
Oh my god. Okay, well, you're talking about...
I don't know what to tell you, man. This is the worst movie ever made. No.
You're talking about one incredibly disgusting scene in a movie of incredibly disgusting scenes.
I haven't even mentioned the scene.
But one scene that is so over the top that sent people... that it sent people running crazy. Oh my god! As I was writing my review for this, I just kept laughing hysterically. It's just so funny and over the top and completely disgusting.
It's completely disgusting. It's so awful. I cannot believe this movie. I can't even. I don't know what to say. It's so awful.
Oh man.
There's nothing. I just cannot. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my god.
It's so terrible, man.
Oh.
You know what? We're not even going to take another break.
Okay,
let's just go ahead and get right into the course. We're going right in. We're already deep into it. Our
format is so screwed on this one. All right, no music. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Well, here's the thing.
Do you like that? Do you like that transition?
I did not make it past, and a lot of people did not make it past the elephant scene.
Yes.
And the elephant scene where they're inside of an elephant.
Yes.
The fact that I even say that proves to you that this is the worst movie ever made. I cannot believe that you're saying that Fantastic Four is worse. It's just not. It's not. It's just not.
That was a $200 million movie that made me hate Michael B. Jordan.
How much it cost.
It made me hate Michael B. Jordan.
I don't care how much the movie cost. What I care about is the quality of the film that is presented to me. And this one
was none.
Terrible. There's nothing good in this movie.
Love that.
There's one scene. There's one scene in this entire movie that's actually good. And that's the scene at the very beginning with Mark Strong getting introduced. And they did the first person perspective camera. Yes. It was really cool. It was creative. And it was a really interesting way to do that. And that was it. There is nothing else good in this movie. Everything else is terrible. Okay. Why are all these actors in this movie?
We need to talk about
why are these actors in this movie, Jones?
Okay, well, first of all, let's take a step back, okay? Because because this is going to get into some of my quirks, but the scene in question, we're just going to talk about the movie theater clearing scene. They actually showed this scene in Kimmel. And on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and the way the audience reacted there, which I thought was staged, is exactly... I had a full theater, and that's exactly how the freaking audience reacted. It was mostly guys. I've never seen a crowd react this way in any movie ever, to where people are climbing up on their seats to get away from how horribly... awesome and like I was dying of laughter, but I couldn't look at the screen.
You have got to be kidding me.
Everyone was laughing and like completely disgusted, and it was awesome.
You have got to be kidding me.
Shared experience.
I cannot believe that you are defending this. I don't even know what to say now.
So the scene is. Hang on. We got to say what the scene is, though.
How do we even explain?
Okay, I'm going to try to PG it up some.
Good luck.
Okay, so they're running from bad guys in where? Africa or whatever?
South Africa.
They see a herd of elephants. And so, being intelligent jackasses, they climb into an elephant's rear end. That's right.
Yes.
They climb into an actual elephant.
Because it's actually referenced earlier in the movie.
It is referenced.
Because they're watching a documentary about it. Yes.
Yes. So there was some forethought there. So they're hiding inside the elephant's anus. Right?
No. It wasn't the anus.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's how so we're going to have another discussion later about the birds and the bees. So they're hiding inside this elephant, and the male, the alpha or whatever, decides to come in and have sex with that elephant while they're inside.
Ah, jeez.
Okay, so they show everything from inside the elephant, and it's completely over the top disgusting. And not only does it get worse, but all the other male elephants in the herd are lined up to run the train. So not only do they get completely covered, so Graham didn't even make it to this part.
No, I didn't even make it. Oh, God.
But not only does the first elephant just spray everyone when he's finished, there's a train of elephants, and they're stuck there the entire time.
You've got to be kidding
like a dozen elephants.
There is nothing PG about this. You said you were going to PG this up. You failed.
Okay, PG-13.
So now here's the deal.
There was no visual.
No matter what, I have to put an explicit on this one. This is the only one that's going to be explicit. Congratulations. Jeez. I cannot believe this movie. It is atrocious. I can't believe you're even defending it as it being better than Fantastic Four.
It is. It
just isn't. It
equally
is
bad. I don't.
No.
No.
People weren't climbing over each other to get out of Fantastic Four.
You know what though? Again,
don't get me wrong. When I was watching Fantastic Four, there was definitely time periods where I was ready to step out and walk out of the theater. But I toughened it out and made it through that movie.
I feel like though.
But this one is so terrible. It's so disgustingly bad. I'm trying to figure out where the connection was wrong between Sacha Baron Cohen and the audience he's trying to present this movie to. So what is his demographic exactly in this movie? Because everybody that I saw was trying to get the hell out of the theater. And so God, I don't even know what to... I don't know what to tell you.
All I can tell you is the only one in the movie theater that I saw, I didn't see any girls in the movie theater. It was only guys. It was like it wasn't really a full theater, but you know, there were definitely enough guys there to when that scene popped up, I was looking around and I could not believe the audience's reaction to that scene.
Because it's terribly... It's just so disgusting.
I feel
it's
like
awful.
Because you didn't get... It is not a good movie. But I feel like it isn't the worst movie ever made.
Yes, it is.
No,
yes, it is.
It is not.
We're 100% in disagreement on that one. The thing is, I cannot get over the fact that I have seen a ton of movies, and bad ones, including one that you have mentioned specifically.
Okay.
Fantastic Four. I made it through all of those movies, right? I've seen so many Adam Sandler movies that are just terrible. I've seen Fantastic Four. I've seen Batman and Robin. I've seen Battlefield Earth. All of these movies are horrible movies. This one takes the cake. It is the worst movie ever. I can't even survive the movie. I couldn't even survive the movie. It's just terrible, man. What are we supposed to do with this movie? I'm trying to... What the heck is his demographic? I don't understand.
I don't know, other than like teenage boys and
it's terrible, absolutely terrible. I don't even know. Like the format is completely messed up with this with this podcast because we don't even know. Because all I want to do is rant about how terrible this movie is.
I mean,
how many times do we have to even see Sacha Baron Cohen's freaking butt? Do I need to see his butt over and over and over again in the movie? No, I don't need to see his butt over and over again in the movie. It's one thing. It's kind of amusing the first time, but then you see it another 10 times, and I'm like, what the heck? Oh my god! What is going on here?
Well, to be fair, I've said the same thing about Adam Sandler's ass too in the past. But dang, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Other than the fact that this movie's terrible. I mean, the poison scene was bad too.
Okay,
and the poison scene, the poison scene where he has to suck the poison out. It's absolutely terrible, and I'm like, what is Mark Strong doing? Where's the world gone to where Mark Strong has to do this to make a buck? I cannot believe how ridiculous that scene was. Had I not had to do a podcast, that's the scene where I would have walked out of. But then I realized, wait a minute, I have to do a podcast. So I survived up to the elephant scene, and I'm done. I'm like, okay, I don't even care anymore. I cannot survive this movie. It's so bad.
The thing is, would you feel the same way about this movie if their goal was simply to trick everyone into watching both of those scenes? And that doesn't even include the ending.
I didn't make it that far. I didn't even make it that far. You know what? That may be true. Maybe that was the point of this movie entirely, was just so Sacha Baron Cohen could see if he could get people in the movie theater and show something absolutely disgusting and ridiculous, which is entirely possible. That does not make it a better movie than Fantastic Four. It's just bad. It's terrible.
Oh, well, okay. And so the thing is, as far as my quirks go, that wasn't even really the issue that I had with the movie, other than, those are some cringeworthy scenes.
I have a laundry list, but I'm just so ticked off right now.
You made it through a quarter of the movie, a third of the movie.
And I still have a laundry list, and I'm not even going to get into it because I'm so upset at how terrible this is, and how you're even defending the movie. I cannot.
I'm not defending the movie.
The movie is the worst movie ever made. It's the worst movie ever made. I'm disagreeing
with that statement right there.
Whatever.
But it is pretty bad.
I guess agree to disagree.
Socrates would slap you for that. You know that, right?
Whatever.
Agree to disagree.
Get to your quirks and your likes or whatever, if you have any.
Okay,
I'm done. I'm freaking done.
You need to calm down over there.
I'm done. What's your quirks and likes?
All right. I think the big issue for me with this movie is it seems like they thought of like 3 really disturbing scenes and then tried to build a movie around it. Like, wouldn't it be ridiculous if we did this? And you had to suck the poison out, or, wouldn't it be ridiculous if we did this? And then they tried to do a movie around it. And in particular, no one besides Navi or Sebastian have a scene together. You have Ian McShane, you have, Ela Fisher, who comes in at the very end. It's so clear that they only film for a day, because no one ever changes their clothes, it seems. No. Maybe they had... Fisher for 2 days or something like that. But everyone's always just reacting to stuff they see on screens, or they're just talking into a phone, and they're never in eyesight. They're never in plain sight of each other.
Yeah.
So the whole spy thing to me doesn't make any like it's completely disconnected.
Yes.
Because he's never in the same room with any of them. and he may as well just not have been a spy. Another issue, I think, is they start talking about these bad guys. They show Penelope Cruz for one scene at the beginning. And it becomes so clear that she's the one setting him up, because why else would they have her in there? Certainly it's not to have her explain what's going on in the plot, because if you have her delivering exposition, that's really bad. No one can understand her.
Well, fantastic.
So, that to me is a big problem. And, I think I see this a lot in movies, so for this to happen in a movie with this director and this cast, where you have all these actors who are really disjointed and not really sharing scenes together, it makes it seem like, they filmed it really quickly. They put all this effort into one scene at the very beginning, and then everything else kind of looked really bad in comparison. The other thing, which I couldn't get out of my head, was the initial premise for Nobby finding his brother Sebastian. It makes zero sense.
No, it doesn't make
the
any
way
sense.
that it's explained, a buddy comes up to him in a bar and says that his brother-in-law is a thief, and that thief recognized his brother, even though no one's seen him since he's 5, and certainly the thief wouldn't know what he looks like.
Yes.
That thief breaks into an event, sees Sebastian, figures out where Sebastian's going to be the following night, and steals a ticket to that event. And it's like, wait, what? How the hell is that the explanation for why they've tracked down someone who doesn't exist anymore?
It doesn't make any sense.
So, I mean, I guess now that I'm saying it, there are so many issues with this thing that, it's just like, well, why isn't Sebastian just a private eye anyway? If he spent his entire life looking for his brother, at least then they would sort of be in the same field.
Well, that would actually make way more sense.
That would also
clearly the premise, or even just the whole point of this movie, is to just do crap. Like, it's
it is.
They clearly set out to make an awful movie. And apparently, according to you, people who were trying to make a bad movie failed in making it the worst movie of all time. So that makes it even worse, in my opinion.
It's pretty bad, but I didn't walk away feeling the same hatred that you did. Like,
my God,
the same
I
anger.
Left the movie theater.
I know. It's just
I have prided myself for years on saying I can make it through movies.
I left the movie theater during Point Break. I don't know what to tell you.
You made it through most of Point Break.
I did.
I know you got out of there pretty quickly.
I did.
But you made it through most of it.
Now,
so I don't even
that
know
wasn't
what to tell
because
you.
one scene or anything scared me away, but I felt like I had seen enough of the fucking movie. And I was, like under the weather at the time. And I'm like, this is awful. But I mean, that was sort of the same thing too, where they're just like not, they're just sort of having, there's two different stories going on that aren't really getting paid off. Neither of them are getting paid off. So, I could go on and on about everything else, but I mean, the whole movie is, I think, built around doing some things that are incredibly gut-wrenching.
Yes.
And getting people to squirm in their seats.
That is absolutely one of the worst reasons I can think of to make a movie.
I don't disagree with that. But again, still, I made it through everything.
Well,
I made it
you know what? Here's the deal. When I left the movie theater, the entire time, all I could think of was how this could be a very interesting challenge for friends to give each other to see how long you can make it through this movie. Because it's just that bad and that disgusting.
I like that you didn't even make it all the way through the elephant scene.
I know. I was done.
Oh, man.
I was so done. I couldn't believe that this was even filmed. And then I'm thinking, all of these actors that are in this movie are way better than this. They are way better than this, except for Sacha Baron Cohen. But even for him, I think it's bad. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? It's just, I'm like, I don't know what to say. It's so disgusting and awful and terrible, and I don't know. I still don't understand the demographic he's trying to. Who would survive this movie other than you and a few other people? Apparently, it's so bad. It is so bad. And then I'm trying to think, who paid for this movie? Like, as far as I know, I don't think Sacha Baron Cohen was even the producer of this movie. So somebody put up the money for Sacha Baron Cohen to do a disgustingly terrible movie, apparently on purpose, which is just a sinkhole for a producer. You're just throwing your money in the toilet.
Well, I don't think they spent a whole lot of money making the movie.
It doesn't matter. Is it more than $1 million? It'd be more than $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so at least $1 million went down the toilet. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, if they were going to do this, I swear they could have hired us to do a movie, gave us $1 million, and you and I could have got a better movie out.
There's no way we could have done. There's no way we could have done any of those scenes, though.
We wouldn't have been able to do any of those scenes, but at least we probably would have made money. This movie is clearly going to be a box office flop. There's no way that this movie is going to have any kind of success at all. And I just can't believe that I've never walked out of a movie before, and the first time that I walked in the movie, clearly people agreed because I was bumping into people trying to get out. Absolutely terrible movie. So now that we've got all our quirks and likes done, you want to just rate this thing? Do you have anything else to say?
No, I don't.
Okay. I think it's well aware of where I stand on this movie.
Nice.
It is by far the worst movie ever made. I would rather watch Adam Sandler dressed in drag as his sister.
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
Than watch this movie. God, it's absolutely terrible. It is the worst movie ever, and I feel like this is one of the few movies where I feel like somebody should have paid me to watch it. It's absolutely terrible. So I say skip it. Please skip it. Burn it. Set it on fire. Do whatever the heck you need to do. Put it into an oblivion. Launch it into the sun. I don't want to see any more inkling of this movie ever. It doesn't even have the charm of being so bad that you'll watch it anyway, like Troll 2. It doesn't even have that charm. It's just terrible and disgusting and awful. And that's my rating.
All right. I'm going to say burn it as well. I think we have to come up with a new graphic for burn it, and it's just going to be an animated one.
Oh, it is.
So I'm not, I don't know. I'm interested to hear how this podcast turns out.
Well, nobody went to go see this movie, so the podcast is not going to turn out well at all.
I'm looking at it right now. I guess it's only going to make $3 million. I don't know what its budget was.
Who knows?
Probably like 10 or so. It just.
Oh my God! If you gave us $10 million,
we would spend it all on hookers and blow.
Oh, fantastic!
Hey, I'm just
Can you imagine the animated movie we could get done for $10 million?
Yeah, Norm of the North.
Oh, no, it would be better than Norm of the North. We'd at least have a plausible story.
It would have better acting.
Right? It's just...
I'm curious to see how much this movie cost. Oh, my goodness.
What?
35 million.
Oh my god!
Whoa, that's what Chronicle cost. Chronicle was 30.
Oh my god! This is my point! This is my point! I seriously think we could have made a better movie for $35 million.
The other critics are also universally slamming it. They're running the elephant train.
Ugh. So bad. What? Well, you know what? Our format is so messed up this time. Let's go ahead and sign out.
All right.
So I can calm down at how terrible this movie is. So if anybody likes to contact us and say that Ian's out of his mind...
Wait a minute.
At how...
what?
For saying that this is not the worst movie of all time. We always have our home on the web, halfpasspodcast.com.
I swear, if I have to talk about this movie any more than this freaking discussion, oh, damn you for even teeing that up. Like us on Facebook. God, you suck.
Rate us on iTunes.
We're on Stitcher and Libsyn. This is much more entertaining than the Hateful Eight podcast. That'll never be seen.
Well,
so I'll say that.
Well, I'll give you that because that one was awful too. Email us at halfpastcast@gmail.com. That's halfpastcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. It's not Half Past Podcast because some other jackass has that.
Yep.
Tweet us at Half Past Podcast. I should probably put some new stuff up there.
Yeah. Thank you for listening and thank you for your support. Now, our next movie teed up is in a couple weeks, and it's Batman v Superman.
Are we going to have Mr. Mark with us?
We might have Mr. Levy with us. So
Levy, that would be awesome. So work on him.
I'll talk to him about it, and hopefully we can get him in as a guest host.
Yes, that would be good.
Yep.
Good.
This is the Half Past Podcast. I'm Graham Ricks.
Jonesy.
See you next flick.
Oh.